Hi there, my name is Sydney O'Connell and I'm an admission counselor for Fort Lewis College, and this is the College Spotlight for Fort Lewis. So we'll jump right in. A little introduction about Fort Lewis. We are a four-year public institution. We're located in Durango, Colorado, which is in the southwest corner of the state of Colorado, about 6 hours from Denver, about 3 hours from Albuquerque. Our undergraduate population is about 3,200 students. We're about 30% first generation students and 51% students of color. And a little bit later, I'm going to discuss what we do to support those students of color on campus. We're about a third of our students being Pell eligible. Our top 5 most popular majors are engineering, exercise physiology, business administration, biology, and psychology. Our 6-year graduation rate is about 45%. And an important fact is that 75% of our classes are smaller than 30. And that all of our classes are taught by faculty members. Students will never have a teaching assistant or a graduate assistant teaching a class. It'll always be a faculty member. And then what makes Fort Lewis College unique? So this is my favorite slide. So we are located in Durango in that Four Corners area. So we have 14,000-foot mountains just north of us, deserts of New Mexico and Arizona to the south of us, the Red Rock Arches of Utah to the west of us. We have a lot of different landscapes here. And we have something at Fort Lewis called X classes. And what X stands for is experiential learning. So it guarantees that every semester a student is going to have at least one class that's out of the traditional classroom style. So whether that be archaeology field study, where students are in Disappointment Valley learning professional field methods while working on dig sites, or the Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory class. It's an entrepreneurship class in which students learn all about entrepreneurship, all about the Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory, and then at the end they compete for their chance to win their own Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory store, so they don't. In Durango, we are a small mountain town, so we're big skiers down here, skiers and snowboarders. All of our first year students do get free ski passes to Purgatory Ski Resort. So you're definitely able to do that. If a student's never skied before, they can rent equipment for free from campus, go up to the mountain and fall on their butt a couple of times free of charge. And then at Fort Lewis, we do have something called the Native American Tuition Waiver. Any student from a federally recognized tribe will go to Fort Lewis College tuition free. So they just have to be accepted. They'll go to Fort Lewis College tuition free. They'll still pay room and board as well as student fees, but they'll never pay tuition whether they're with us for 1 year or 100 years, doesn't matter. Then moving right ahead, so the Fort Lewis difference. So I'm going to touch on a couple of these, but feel free to reach out to me if you want to talk about every single one with every single major. I'd love to. But as far as these classes, we have these field study programs and undergraduate research in which students are doing research. All of our students are doing a senior seminar, which requires research, but you're able to start doing undergraduate research at sophomore level. So whether you're studying a Verona mite, which is on one of our beehives, we have 18 which live on campus in a bee apiary, or discussing the effects of gerrymandering on our last election, you're supported and funded by Fort Lewis College. We also provide students with real-world experiences. Our education majors are in a classroom starting their sophomore year. Our engineering students last year, our sophomores, did a sophomore design sprint in which they were locked inside Sitter Family Hall for 24 hours and were required to build a 30-foot bridge, have their whole team cross over it before they got the key to get let out. We have an ecology and society field study, which sent students to lands throughout the Four Corners and had them learn about the ideas, beliefs, and concepts which connect people to their land and why that plays such an important role on our community. Additionally, we want to send students outside of Durango for internships. So some of our business majors, our business music majors will go down to Santa Fe for the Santa Fe Opera House, work behind the scenes. If you're an exercise physiology major, we'd be happy to send you up to Colorado Springs to work with athletes at the Olympic Training Center. So we really believe you can learn on campus, but also if you need to get out of campus, out of Durango to learn, we're going to give you class credit for those experiences. Moving on ahead, we'll talk about rural and small town student resources. So we do have an online tour in which students can follow along with a student who's talking about our campus. But if you want to do a virtual visit information session, we'd love to do that. We'll talk to you about financial aid, scholarships, applying, get more in depth on the major you're interested in, and we'll do that in a Zoom setting. If you want to meet one-on-one with me or one of my peers, we can do a Counselor Connect in Zoom. If you want to do that with a current student, you can. If you want to do that with a faculty member, you can. So if you want to meet with someone in your area, ask them what their students are doing for research, internships, you can absolutely do that. If you do not have a webcam, if you don't have secure internet, if you want to just do it over the phone, we offer any of those services over the phone. Additionally, you're able to meet with financial aid over the phone. So if you have questions about FAFSA or anything like that, you can do that. Student support, we're going to discuss in the next slide. But if you have any questions on how you want to connect with Fort Lewis, whether you want to do a student visit, a Zoom, a phone call, just email us and we'd be happy to chat. All right. So moving forward on our student resources, Fort Lewis College is here to serve students. That's our #1 goal, and that's the #1 and most important thing for us. So with that in mind, I felt like it was important to share with you many ways in which we support our students. So for first year programming, we know that first year students are a very special population who are living through many firsts of their life. So for many of them, this is the first time they're living away from their family or with a roommate or in a new state. We really want to support them where they're at. So we offer something called Jumpstart, which is a pre-orientation program that supports students who need more support academically. So they'll spend a week with our Fort Lewis faculty members studying either English or math, and they'll reinforce what they already know, and they'll also learn more academic strategies. So they'll also learn how to use Canvas, which is our online academic platform. They'll talk about career mapping, advising, and other student resources on campus. And this allows students to really get a jump on their academic career at Fort Lewis. And it'll also tie into a first year launch class, which I'm going to discuss in a little bit. And then we have the FLC Family Connection, which links families from Durango with a Fort Lewis first year student. These families support our students with home cooked meals, ride to the airports, knowledge of the best hiking, biking, and skiing trails in Durango, and they're just kind of a friendly face in Durango right when they get here. Families and students decide how much time they want to spend with each other, what they want to do together, but they're really just there to support you while you move to Fort Lewis and move to Durango. And then our first year launch class. So a first year launch class is a seminar class all of our first year students take. It's about learning something, and it's also about being acquainted with Durango and the Fort Lewis community. So the classes are tons of different topics, over 30 classes, and each class is only about 15 students. We have classes like the geography of guitars, in which you learn about where each material of a guitar comes from and the environmental impact it has on that community when you're taking the wood, where you're taking the strings, all of that. We have a photography and Instagram class in which you learn about photography and Instagram and the effects Instagram has had on the photography industry, as well as social media marketing. Additionally, we have classes like queer culture out on TV, which studies TV shows like Golden Girls and Will and Grace and the effects that's had in the last 50 years since Stonewall and rights have changed. So these classes, you're learning something, but you're also learning about resources like Canvas, our online academic platform, more about advising, more about our resource centers. You're really getting enveloped into the Fort Lewis community through these programs. All right, and now we have some other programs that are not just first year specific, but let's jump into them. So the Diversity Collaborative. It's Fort Lewis College's community is bright and vibrant with students, staff, and faculty forming an abundance of cultural backgrounds. Diversity, equity, and inclusion are part of our mission and values, and our campus works to uphold those values to create an inclusive education experience where every member of our community knows they belong. The goal of the Diversity Collaborative is to make Fort Lewis College a safe and inclusive place for everyone. Within the Diversity Collaborative, you'll find our Native American Center, El Centro de Muchos Colores, which is our Hispanic Resource Center, the Black Student Union, and the Gender and Sexuality Resource Center. All 4 centers have allocated spaces where students are able to meet and work towards reaching their highest goals in their personal, educational, and professional lives. These centers provide additional support for students with free book rental services, tutoring, mentorship, and scholarships. In addition to support, our Diversity Collaborative also works to educate our community on identifying the importance of diversity and how to contribute to an inclusive social climate. Moving forward, so we have our peer education. The peer education office is the backbone of the tutoring centers on campus. So they connect a qualified peer educator to students who need support. Our peer educators can work one-on-one in a group session. They'll host drop-in study sessions. They'll have open labs where students can come and get assistance with those labs. Right now, our peer educators are working remotely and still offering tutoring services to our students who need that support. And then finally, TRIO. Our TRIO program supports students with course advisement, tutoring, graduate school research, financial guidance. They provide holistic and individualized coaching. They're really there to support these students. They work with students who are low income, first generation, or students with disabilities. And they really want to increase the rate of graduation and retention for these students, this special population. They create a campus community where students' individualized goals are nurtured by providing support in an inclusive environment. So those are just 6 of our student resources, but there's many more because we are a very student-oriented campus. And then kind of jumping into applications. We do have our own application, fortlewis.edu/apply. Our application comes out September 1st of every year. It closes August 1, so our fall 2020 students are still applying. It's a rolling basis, so you apply online, you send us your high school transcript, in 4 to 6 weeks you'll get your admission decision from us. As far as ACT or SAT requirements, for fall 2020, our students applying for this fall are not required to have an ACT or SAT, and we are planning to be test optional for fall 2021. We do offer fee waivers. Check out that link, apply for it. In 2 to 3 days, you'll get a fee waiver. We do have need-based and merit-based scholarships. And then our enrollment deposit cannot be waived, but it can be deferred to a student's first semester bill if they are Pell eligible. So absolutely reach out to our office. We can chat more about that and how that works. Moving forward, let's talk a little bit about Durango. So as I mentioned, we are a small mountain town in the southwest corner of Colorado. We have about 18,000 people in Durango proper. Within the town, we have 300 miles of hiking and biking trails, and that's within 30 minutes of campus. So if you have an appreciation for the outdoors, you are going to love Durango and you're really going to find a home here. At our outdoor pursuits office on campus, you can rent any skis, snowboard equipment, stand-up paddle boards, rafts, cross-country skis, really anything you could think of to enjoy the outdoors for free as a student. So definitely take advantage of that. We do have free city bus service for all of our students, so they can take you all the way up to the mountain at Purgatory where you have that free ski pass, all the way to the south end of town. So you don't have to worry about taking a car here. We do average 70 inches of snowfall in town. You are going to experience all 4 seasons here in Colorado, about 200 to 300 in the mountains, so we're lucky to only have that 70 inches. And then we have about 300 days of sunshine a year, which is my favorite fact. Even if it's snowing, it's still blue skies and sunny here in Durango. And then moving right forward, like I said, my name is Sydney O'Connell. I work primarily with students from New Mexico, Nevada, and the western slip of Colorado, but I'd be happy to help you with anything. So reach out, call, email, or text me. And then if you want to follow us on social media, we'd love that. Well, thanks so much for tuning in, and I hope you all have a good day and connect with us if you have any more questions.